Hey guys, I'm Dennis. Welcome back to my channel, Guy with a Plant. In today's episode, I'm going to repot this variegated Scindapsus hederaceus and also give it a pour because look at the way it has been growing. There are several arrowroots that have sprouted out, and I have this for almost 2.5 months now, and it's still sitting in this pot of sphagnum moss. So it's not getting enough nutrients, so I definitely need to repot this. Look at the newer leaves, they are getting smaller, so they definitely need something to climb. But look at the variegation. It's very white elbow variegation. I am totally in love with this Scindapsus. It's definitely one of my most beautiful variegated Scindapsus. The leaves of this hederaceus is thinner than the usual Scindapsus pictus, which tends to be harder and thicker. Let me try to show you the cross section of this leaf. It's really very thin. So I think it needs a little bit more moisture compared to the pictus because those don't really like to be overwatered, especially my exotica. If I overwater those, they will definitely throw a fit by giving out yellow leaves. But like I mentioned, it's still sitting in sphagnum moss. Oh, check out the roots. The roots are growing quite nicely in this moist condition. What I need to do is to get this out, give it some proper potting medium, and also to give it a moss pour, which I've made it myself yesterday. Look at the way it has been growing, so it looks as if it will appreciate something to latch onto. And hopefully the newer leaves will be much bigger than this. The variegation comes out a shade of aurea, this yellow, and slowly it will fade into this very snow white variegation. It's really beautiful. The very first leaf is not very variegated, but the subsequent ones are. But the latest one is almost fully variegated. It's still very young, so the color may still be changing. Oh, something is happening to this leaf. It seems to be melting a little. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, things like that happen. When I first got it, I think it had only maybe about the bottom 3 leaves. These 2 and the bottom 1. So it has grown 4 more leaves under my care for the past 2.5 months. Yes, this needs to be rehomed now. So let's take this little fella out of this pot and let's take a look at the roots. This container is really tiny, but I guess it's a small cutting. I actually couldn't find much information about this Scindapsus online, especially the variegated one. I saw that there are some similar varieties like the blue aurea as well as the blue elbow. I'm not sure whether are they the same or it's just different coloration or different variegation. But you know how people in the plant trades like to give fanciful names to plants. So I'm not sure, but those are definitely more expensive. I'll try to find some photos and put it up here. And maybe you can do a comparison to see if there's any difference. The blue elbow is definitely way much more expensive. Oh, actually I'm a little bit concerned because there's not much roots on this cutting. Let me try to remove more of the sphagnum moss and I'll show it to you. I'm really scared. Not much roots here. As you can see, I think it should be fine, hopefully. Yeah, let's pot this up. Alright, I'm going to use this clay pot. It's really nice. Look at the design on it. And this is, I think, 2.5 inch across, so it's not very big. But comparatively, this is definitely way bigger. Actually, it doesn't need so much space in there. But I need a pot that is heavy enough and stable enough to actually put in the moss pour, so I will need this. Going forward, I got to make sure I do not overwater this because this is a huge volume of potting medium compared to this. Alright, and I'm going to use this potting medium which I just bought. I think it's meant for aroid because it's really chunky. It says here that it will prevent root rot and to keep away any fungus gnats. This is supposed to be a forest mix. Let me just mix it with my existing potting medium. Yeah, I think there's some bark, pumice, perlite and zeolite in this. Let's put some in the pot. Alright, so this is the moss pot that I made using this mesh and some cable tidy. Okay, I'm going to put in some sphagnum moss in the pot. Obviously, this is not enough. This is the recycled ones. I'm going to get more new ones. So I would say this moss pot is about 40 cm in height and about 2.5 cm or 1 inch across. Got some more fresh moss which is wet, but I've squeezed the living daylights out of it because I want to make sure it's moist but not dripping wet. Alright, let me get a fastener. Okay, I got this strip of Velcro fastener. So as it grows taller, I will continue to fasten it to attach it to the pole. Make sure it doesn't grow out of the pole. Okay, and this is done, potted up nicely with a moss pole. Hopefully this will not be too shocked from this repotting because this is a much bigger pot. I got to make sure I do not over water this, but I've got to keep this pretty moist as well because I think it likes it that way. Yeah, I fastened this to the pole, so part of the aerial roots and this vine is actually touching the moss. So hopefully this Scindapsus will thrive in this setup and it has a runway to climb all the way up. So I think that is good because I think in nature it grows up to about 20 meters. Probably the non-variegated one. But I think with variegation, I think the growth is probably slower. So I think this is a good height for it to climb. I'll keep you guys updated of the growth for sure. So do subscribe to my channel to be updated on its progress. I can't believe how beautiful this variegation is. So white, except for this leaf, which I'm not sure what's happening. It looks a little bit dried up actually, because this is almost totally variegated, so maybe that's why it usually happens to the variegated parts, it will turn brown. Yeah, the variety of variegation here is so interesting. This is almost a half moon, just like this one. What a gorgeous plant. Let me know and put in the comments below if you have any experience with this, because this is still relatively new to me. I can tell you this is definitely different in terms of leaf texture compared to the Scindapsus pictus. Those I think are hardier. Yeah, thanks for watching guys. If you like contents like that, do subscribe to my channel and also on the notification bell to be updated of any new videos. It will help me greatly. Meanwhile, I'll see you guys again in my next video. Take care and remember to show your plants some love.